This episode features an Audi A4 cabriolet 2006 for sale at an auction. First of all, let's start with the smart chart, just so we make sure we don't forget to look for anything. When shopping for a car, you need to go through the exterior condition, the engine condition, the interior condition, make a test drive if possible, and then check the mileage. But before we start, I know that shopping for a car can be stressful. Usually, you have a family, you are working full time, and you really need a car right now, not in a year from now. So, you're on a tight schedule and budget. I mean, when you're buying a car, you expect not to put any additional repair money at least for 3 or 4 years. And at the same time, there's really no way to be 100% sure a used car won't need any repairs. What I would like to share through my work is ways to minimize the risk and deal the best price as fairly as possible. So now let's start with the paint job. You're looking for inconsistency in the paint job. Panels that seems to be lighter or stronger in color than the rest of the car.
First of all, the paint job. Here there is a bad touch-up and the small dents, not dents, small dots. You know, those stuff over there. Small chips all around the hood, as well as the bumper.
Body condition. As always, this should be the most obvious part. When you're walking around the car, look for any dings, broken parts, scratches, rust, inconsistent alignment in between the hood, panels, bumper, and doors.
A little bit of rust starting over here. Check the fitting between the hood and the fender. Is it the same as on the other side? Yep, all fine over here. Another touch up over here. Another touch up over here, as well as over here. It seems somebody took a can of paint, silver paint, and just tried to hide the scratches over here. You know, those kind of people that are trying to make an easy sale. They don't have to hide those stuff, you know, that's normal. Anyway.
Wheels and tires. First of all, look and see if all four tires are the same make and model. Then take a simple penny and insert it in between the tire tread.
Now you can clearly see that you need new tires up front.
It will give you a rough
And-
estimation on how much tire tread is left.
Now in the back it's in good condition back.
Finally, check the rims for scratches, pothole
Same
damage,
thing over
and
here.
faded paint.
It seems like a good tire, but the front is obviously is almost dangerous to drive. The wheel is a bit scratched and the valve cover is missing. A bit of scratch, valve cover over here. This one is fine. There is the hub is missing, or the cover. as well as over here.
Headlamps and tail lights. All around the car, check and see if the lights are becoming blurred and yellow. This is common with non-UV treated transparent plastic. With time and sunshine, they slowly degrade. This means either the car was sitting too long facing the sun, or the car has simply spent much of its life on the road. This is why sometimes yellow blurred headlamp can give you a rough estimation on the actual mileage.
You can clearly see that the headlights are blurry and yellow at the same time. The light is very beautiful, especially for a 2006 car.
Sunroof. At this stage of your investigation, you simply want to verify that all the windows are closed tight and properly. Now this is a convertible, so check it out all around, make sure all the joints are tight and beautiful. You mainly want to make sure there is no water leak anywhere. Sometimes when a car is crashed, the roof loses its structural accurate adjustments.
All fitting well. You can clearly see here that it's starting to get very worn. And that even looks like it's silicone that has been used.
Now the engine. First of all, check the oil level before you start the engine. Once that's done, start it up and listen. Ideally, a cold start is the best way for checking an engine. If it's too rough, you know it's usually packing a big load of mileage. Exhaust gas color. Meanwhile, check the colored gas coming out of the exhaust. Is there any oil as well? There is three main colors that could indicate engine failure: dark black, blue, or white gray. The usual color should not be noticeable in summer and very light gray in winter. Oil leaks. While the engine is running, check for any oil leak under the engine bay. Then, turn the car off for about 2 minutes and check the oil level again. Try to smell it as well. It will give you an idea on the oil condition and engine condition. Good brand new oil should not be unpleasant to smell. Do the same thing with the transmission if the dipstick is available, especially if the car is more than 7 years old and equipped with an automatic transmission.
There is oil, but in fact it's too old. Way too old. I noticed the battery cover is broken. Now it does seem like steam is coming out from the engine, which is obviously not a good thing. Something to do with even the smell. It's radiator water, coolant.
Now in this case, just after turning the car off, I noticed some kind of steam
This is
coming out from
sadly
the engine bay.
common with Volkswagen
It
and
does look
Audi.
and smell like radiator coolant.
There's something very weak when they get old, and this is only 2006. 2006.
Interior condition. Look for any unusual wear and tear on the steering wheel, seats, and switches. Any unusual condition could be caused by excessive use, which should indicate a relatively high mileage.
So the steering wheel is very clean. Seat as well. A bit torn on this side, but the usual stuff. Everything works. Always check the seat belt. You're looking for dirty seat belts, which would indicate that the car was in an accident, which implicated the need to change the seat belt. Because you see, seat belts sometimes they lock after an accident.
The seat belts locks as soon as they sense a crash in order to prevent the driver and passengers from bouncing all around the car while the accident is happening.
In this case, they're all as they should be.
The seat belts are made in a specific way so they lock only once when the car gets into a crash. You have to replace them in order to put the car back on the road, and they are expensive parts to buy directly from the dealer. So, before resorting to the dealer, you try local stores or scrapyards. When you're desperate, you get into the black market looking for stolen parts. This is where it gets interesting. Those bad people on the black market, they malhandle parts. Once they have been removed from stolen cars, they basically throw them away in their yards, waiting for a customer. Meanwhile, those parts accumulate dirt, rust. Nobody is bothered cleaning them up before installing them. Anyway, that is the best explanation I was able to come up with after witnessing numerous recent cars with seat belts in such a terrible state. All windows and sunroof. Check if all the windows are
Now,
working properly, open them up and close
does
them
all
down.
windows work? Yeah, everything is fine. Now, what's nice in an Audi A4 is that you have a switch to open all the windows at the same time. This one over here. I mean, that's nice. Now, to open the rooftop, the switch is hiding over here. Before we move on, we can make sure that everything seems clean and neat. Then we may continue with our task. Now it's time to close everything back. Now it's always good to make it run at least twice. See, I don't know if that's normal, but let's say it is.
Windshield wipers. Don't forget to check if windshield wipers show any malfunction. Finally, if you can, you must take it for a test drive. I would suggest to drive it in city roads until it heats up, then take it on the highway. Turn off the radio. I'm sure it will be on because they don't want you to listen
What's
to the
that?
car. So turn the radio off and just listen. Tell the salesman
I
to
don't
be
know.
quiet, just so you can focus. Mileage. After going through that smart chart thoroughly, you really should begin to have an idea on the actual mileage of the car. So check it out at the very end of your investigation. If the shown number makes you uncomfortable, walk
Yeah.
away or try and get the best deal as fairly as possible. Cluster lights. Check and see if any cluster lights are on. Each light could indicate needed maintenance. This was an Audi A4 convertible 2006 for sale at an auction. Thank you for watching and shop carefully.